So guys, a lot of people are talking about the pay-per-view numbers, the US pay-per-view numbers that Fury Wilder did. There's rumors that it did about 320,000 pay-per-view buys. And a lot of people are saying, is it a success? Is it a failure? In my opinion, I actually think that's a success. With how the pay-per-views are priced in America, we're talking about $65 to $80 a fight, which is a lot. Which is a lot of dough, to pay for a boxing fight, or to pay for the main event, or not just the main event, but the undercard. But to pay for a show, pay $65 to $80 is a lot of money for people to fork out. So the fact that I did 320,000 buys shows how well this fight was hyped, and I just want to put that into context. Andre Ward and Kovalev, which was at the time meant to be a massive super fight, did only about 180 or 160, something like that, thousand buys. Terence Crawford, who's apparently the best pound for pound fighter in the world, fought Victor Postol and did about 50,000 pay-per-view buys. Golovkin Jacobs did very poor numbers. The only real pay-per-view star that was doing big numbers in America was Canelo, but Canelo's on another level. So really, this of recent times, this pay-per-view, Wilder and Fury, did big numbers in comparison to everyone else. They actually did almost double what Ward Kovalev did, which is fairly impressive. So you would have to say it's a success. Fairly poor still for a heavyweight title fight, and when you've got two characters like that. But the WBC, we have some exciting news that now the WBC have ordered the rematch. The fight was very exciting, and it ended in dramatic fashion. I can only see this fight being much bigger, and I actually think that it does double the pay-per-view numbers next time. It does double the pay-per-view numbers next time. So if this fight happens in America next time, I actually think this fight's going to be way bigger. We're looking at least, if I'm making a prediction, I believe 700 to about 1 million pay-per-view buys. I think this fight can do. I think that's the kind of pay-per-view numbers this fight could do potentially next time round, because you got to realize the fight was a classic. Although there's many guys that have come out and said the fight wasn't great. Eddie Hearn said it wasn't a classic. It was. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the fight. Anything could have happened in a split second. It was that kind of fight. And then what happened in the 12th round was dramatic, and I just think this is a huge rematch, a huge fight, and the numbers that you're going to get in the rematch are going to be huge, and that will change the landscape. Whoever wins that fight, if Fury wins it or Deontay Wilder wins it, he may be coming off a pay-per-view that's done 1 million pay-per-view buys, and all of a sudden, the Joshua fight and the fight between him and Joshua becomes a 50-50 split. So, for Deontay Wilder, I think what's happened is brilliant, especially if he can win the rematch. Same with Tyson Fury. I think if Tyson Fury does 1 million pay-per-view buys in the US, he can claim, and he beats Deontay Wilder, you'd probably have to say he deserves a 50-50 split with Joshua. So I think the game has changed a little bit. I do think now this rematch is going to take place, I do think the tables have turned, and Joshua is no longer going to be able to dictate on the negotiation table. I do think after the rematch, whoever wins it will probably get a 50-50 with Joshua. It'll probably have to, because the pay-per-view numbers they'll do next time will be ridiculous in America. And Fury and Wilder's profile in the United States is going to be massive. So I do think the rematch is going to be huge. I do expect the rematch to do between 700 to 1 million pay-per-view buys if the first one did 320. But leave your thoughts, guys. What do you guys make of the pay-per-view numbers that Fury Wilder? The pay-per-view numbers that were obviously rumoured at 320,000. What did you make of those numbers? Do you think they were good? And what numbers do you think they'll do in the rematch? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.